Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Out of Boston, and today I'm back for episode number 2 of my Boston Red Sox Out of the Park Baseball 17 series. So today we're coming back with July 2016. We're going to go through the final 3 months of the regular season, taking a look at some statistics right here and the pitching staff as well. You can see the bullpen has been kind of a mess. Koji Uehara back in the closer will be demoted. Kimbrel to the setup role after his ERA had been over 5 as the closer so far. International free agency starts though, as this is an area where I like to dip a ton of money into and invest in some good prospects, but unfortunately this year a lot of the guys were kind of out of our price range. John Henry restricting our budget a little bit. We spent a lot on the payroll so far this season, so it's understandable. But we're looking at some of the top tier guys here. Fernando Morales is one of them. He is the best position player prospect, a infielder looking for a home. And then there's also Guillermo Correa, one of the starters. Elias Tobias as well. He is a guy that is probably going to be a reliever in the pros. And then Alex Carrillo as well. He is an outfielder and a guy with some pretty good hitting attributes. OSA likes him a little bit more than our head scout, but still a good potential guy. Alfonso Chavez, a slider with very good gap power. The OSA, once again, likes him a little bit more than our head scout. And then some other guys here, lower cost, Ricky Beneventi, a starter. And here we go, Guillermo Correa. We're going to be offering $7 million to sign on with the Red Sox. And then we go over to Fernando Morales. We're going to go with a $10 million signing bonus to him. But the owner would actually not approve that offer to this prospect. So we're going to have to lower the financial total a little bit more, going down to $7 million. Still, that is not going to be approved. He was looking for $6 million. We are going to be able to offer him $6 million, but not much more than that. And usually, that is not going to be enough to get those guys in this game. So we get the message now. It is Guillermo Correa and Fernando Morales both looking for more money. So I decided to change my approach and go after Alex Carrillo and just try to pour all my potential money into Carrillo. I figured he's a guy who teams had not bid up on yet, so the price could still be low. And if I could strike now, I could get him for, say, $7 million. That is what I offered him. But we get a message here and a contract negotiation update. That means another team has put in a high bid. So we were asked to up our offer. Once again, we go to $10 million this time. Hopefully that will be enough. I would be surprised if San Diego were able to keep up with the betting once I got up to $10 million. But now it's the Phillies entering the war. They are up to almost $15 million. So Carrillo now looking for more than 15. We are not able to offer him that. We give him 13. He's obviously not going to take that, so he would go on and sign with the... Actually, I think he went on and signed with the LA Angels. So now we're turning our focus to Sal Romero here, a guy with only 3-star potential, but, not looking for a lot of money. Definitely a guy I knew we could snag up just to get something from this free agency period. But it's definitely going to be a disappointment. Romero does eventually sign on. We'd have to offer him $500,000 to get him to just close the deal and not let other teams bid up on him. So he does eventually sign that, but... definitely a disappointing international free agency period. I like to really go after those. That is where I pick up a lot of top prospects. That's a really easy way to build up a farm system. All it costs is money. So if you're a team in a big market with a lot of extra capital, then that is really an area where you can use to build up your farm system, as I said. And if you're smart, unlike the Red Sox, and spend on your payroll wisely and don't have guys like Hanley Ramirez and Pablo Sandoval and Rick Porcello on your team making $20 million to do nothing, then you would have even more money to spend in international free agency while still maintaining a competitive team on the field. But now about 1 week or so before the trade deadline, we're looking at the standings here, contending for first place still, looking to upgrade 2 spots on the team, starting pitcher and an outfielder. I was looking at Francisco Liriano there, but the prices on him were too high. The Pirates wanted the very top prospect. Now I'm looking at Charlie Blackmon, a left-handed bat out of the outfield, trying to make something work here. He should not have too high of a trade value. And we find one for Zhu Wei Lin. I couldn't pronounce that name, but he's only got 1-star potential according to the head scout, 3-star according to the OSA. He's a guy I felt very comfortable giving up for Charlie Blackmon, and so we do just that. We pull off that trade. Blackmon gives us another left-handed bat. We're also going to look at Trevor Bauer off of waivers here. We're actually going to give him a claim. He had been pitching pretty well for Cleveland, both as a starter and a reliever so far this season, and he's a former top prospect, still a guy with some potential to fill out, and we definitely could use him as a number 5 starter. We haven't had many better options so far this season, so we pick up Trevor Bauer, take a look. He's going to be slotted in there as the number 5. We demoted Joe Kelly, of course, so we get Brandon Morrow out of the rotation, a guy who we had claimed in the last episode. Now as we move forward to July 31st, one starting pitcher I had in mind was Tyson Ross, and starting to build a bit of a package here, Christian Vasquez and Stanley Espinal. Now we throw in Sam Travis, and they're liking that deal a lot. We can see if we throw in Nicholas Hamilton, they would accept. So now I'm going to try and do the deal without Sam Travis because Travis is a guy I could see fitting in a corner spot in the coming years at the big league level. Now you can see they're looking at guys like Brian Johnson and Henry Owens, so I definitely feel comfortable giving up Brian Johnson. He's 25 years old, coming off of Tommy John surgery. I don't really think he's going to be much in the big leagues in real life or in this OOTP at all in his career. I just don't really like his stuff very much, but we'll see. I could be wrong. So taking a look at his ratings there, definitely felt comfortable giving him up. And then we throw in Joe Kelly as well. And at this point, I know I can make a deal. I'm just trying to fiddle around and get the best package possible. So I'm looking at Marco Hernandez, a guy who's played very well at the AAA level so far for us this year, but doesn't necessarily have a clear spot to break through to the big league level at any point in the near future. So I felt very comfortable giving him up. The final package is going to be him, Johnson, Nicholas Hamilton, and Joe Kelly to San Diego for Tyson Ross. I probably could have kept one of those guys, maybe Joe Kelly, maybe Brian Johnson, but I wanted to make sure the trade seemed fair. Tyson Ross is a very good pitcher for San Diego. He's got one more year of team control left after this season, so they certainly wouldn't be giving him away for nothing. So I wanted to give the fair price. And here you can see after the deadline, we are half game out of first place, but feeling pretty comfortable sitting atop the wildcard standings. I think we have a playoff spot, not secured by any means or anything like that, but we're definitely looking like we're going to be in good shape to make the playoffs so we can keep playing at a current pace. Hopefully the team will have gotten better with the deadline moves and not worse. You can see we absolutely stomped on Seattle 30-5 there. Now we're going to release Trevor Cahill. He did not want to be demoted, so once he cleared waivers after we DFA'd him, we decided to release him now, keeping an eye on the waiver wire as we simulate through the month of August. We're taking on the Yankees in a 3-game series here. We actually sweep them, so we improved to 14 games over 500. Now taking on Arizona with a 3-game set at home. We lose the first 2 to them. Now trying to salvage the series here with the 3rd game. We actually lose that 8-3 as well. But now we've got a very big 3-game set against Baltimore, a team, actually this is looks like a 2-game set against Baltimore, a team that we are competing with for the division. We do sweep that. That's a very big start to the week. Now we've got a 4-gamer in Detroit. We split the first 2 in a doubleheader, lose the 3rd, and we are going to win the 4th and split the series 2 games each. So now, as we got to later in the month in August, I was looking at Yoan Moncada as a guy to potentially call up. He had only been up to Portland so far this year, but I thought we could have called him up in a Xander Bogaerts type of role. Remember when Bogaerts got called up in the 2013 season? He was kind of used off the bench as a substitute a lot of the time late in the year, and actually played a pretty big role in the playoffs once he got the start over Will Middlebrooks at third base. And he had a pretty big World Series, so I thought Moncada could potentially serve a similar role, but I decided against calling him up. I wanted to keep his service time down. I think he will likely be called up next year at the beginning of the season after the first 20 days of the year or whatever. But we get into September. Tyson Ross, he's been pitching absolutely phenomenally since coming over in the trade. And we are atop first place in the division with a 3-way tie with Toronto and Baltimore. And taking a look at the offense has actually played really well so far this season. We're scoring a lot of runs. Even guys that I didn't expect to have good years like Pablo Sandoval and Hanley Ramirez, they're having at the very least respectable seasons and passing guys, major league regulars. They don't have negative WARs or anything like that. The only spot that we had a negative WAR at was left field. That's why I wanted to add an outfielder at the deadline. We get Charlie Blackmon in there. Now we can platoon him and Chris Young in left field, as Rusney Castillo has just not worked out. He's been really horrible for us this season. So moving forward in September now, we've got a 3-game set against Baltimore coming up. We win the first one, absolutely destroying them 15-1. And we lose the second 6-5. Now the rubber match, we do take home with the 6-1 victory. So once again, a 3-way tie, top first place in the division. But Eduardo Rodriguez is going to go down for 3 to 4 weeks with elbow inflammation this late in the season. That is not good. We had actually already lost Blake Swihart to a torn groin. He is out for 6 to 7 weeks. His regular season is over, and he's likely going to miss at least the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. He could be back for a potential World Series matchup, but I had the clip in there, most definitely. I'm not sure if I just kind of talked over it by accident, but Mookie Betts, we do get back from the DL now, so he is back finally. He is only going to play a little more than 100 games this season, but he's been very productive when he has been out on the field, so really the problem for him has just been staying out on the field. But now, into the later half of September, as we are taking on Baltimore in a 4-game set in Baltimore. We split the first 2. Now we've got the final 2 games of the series coming up. We do win the 3rd and the 4th one, so we get back to a tie in first place of the division with the Orioles. Now moving past them as we take on Tampa Bay here, and we actually take 2 of 3 from them. Baltimore has lost 5 in a row. So they are in danger of falling out of the race right now if they can't turn things around quickly. And their losing streak is going to extend 7 in a row now, but we have lost 2 in a row as well. So it's still a 2-game gap in the division as we enter the final weekend of play here against Toronto. A 3-game set, a win and a Baltimore loss cleanses us the division. Tyson Ross, meanwhile, gets pitcher of the month for September. He has been filthy, a 1.93 ERA so far since coming over in the trade. But there you have it. The Red Sox clinch the division. We go 3 games up with 2 to play, and there you can see it is official with an 87-73 mark. The Red Sox have clinched the best record in the AL East. That is going to give us an automatic berth into the ALDS. Now the rest of the season, just a formality, playing it out, trying to get home field in that first round. It looks like it's going to be a series against the Kansas City Royals. As we do end off the regular season with 89 wins, we sweep Toronto to finish things off. So take a look at some of the statistics here. But like I said, pretty good offensive seasons from a lot of our guys. Bradley, Vasquez, the only 2 regulars by the end of it to have OPSs under 700. Everyone else pretty respectable. And now we're just looking at some of the pitching statistics. David Price, very good first year with us, a 2.92 ERA. Tyson Ross, very, very good with us, a 2.12 ERA. Buchholz, not so bad. He was pretty average for most of the year. And Trevor Bauer was kind of average with us once he got here. But we definitely have the pieces, I think, to make a playoff run. I tend to buy into the fact that a lot of baseball playoffs are random. So the fact that we got our name in the hat, I think, is going to give us chance enough. And it should be a worthwhile playoffs. But anyway, that's going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching. And I'm out. Peace.